Hi guys, thanks for joining us today. With me today I've got Emmanuel and I've got Flo with me. Hello Emmanuel, thank you for making your first appearance on the Insight platform. And hello Flo, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you.
So let's start by introducing ourselves to our audience and then we'll dive in. Flo?
I'm Flo. Perhaps you wanted us to talk about what we do or how we got here. So I am a global product management and data and strategy for an electronics company. Without naming names, we're not here to advertise anyone. And yeah, that's me.
Amazing.
Yeah, so my name is Emmanuel. I work for Afiego. So Afiego is a money transfer platform. So
that's a very modest way of saying I am the CEO of Afiego. I work for Afiego. Can you reintroduce yourself, CEO?
Let's talk. So, Flo, what brought you to the UK?
What brought me to the UK? An interesting question. So I came to the UK to study many years ago.
Okay.
I did my master's and also completed a PhD and then carried on to run a business and now working full time while still running the business. So it's been an interesting journey without going into details, but studies brought me to the UK.
Now, I have been speaking to youths in Nigeria, and a lot of youths believe that you have to travel abroad to be successful. Of course, you know it's a general thing. Everybody wants to travel abroad from the country, or most people want to travel. Now, were you successful before you left Nigeria, or did you become successful when you came to the UK?
I think that's a very interesting question.
It is.
Because to me, success is very relative. And in terms of where I was before I came to the UK, I was doing okay for myself, but coming to the UK gave me or broadened my opportunities. However, there was still a chance that I could have those opportunities and not maximize them. So regardless of whether I was in Nigeria or whether I was in the UK, I think I've pushed myself to maximize all the opportunities I've had, not because of the environment, but just because of my person as an individual. And Emmanuel, I think you obviously have some thoughts on that as well.
Yeah, I do agree with you. Most people who come to the UK, in my view, are people, even if they are in Nigeria, they have a very high chance of being successful and being fulfilled in Nigeria. Anyway, I won't take away the opportunities that are here in the UK that are not in Nigeria. So that is why I say it's an interesting question.
Let me drill down on that. So a lot of people believe that their success in life is a function of their environment. But I believe that if you are someone who tick the boxes of success, it doesn't matter where you are, you'll be successful. Because all of us sitting around this table, nobody came to, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't believe anybody came to your home and called you and said, Emmanuel, we're taking it to the UK. You did some certain work to give yourself the opportunity, the chance to be here. And if you didn't do the work, you wouldn't have been here. Which means to me, success is something that comes from within, not a function of your environment outside. Now, the reason I say this is because I keep talking to students every day in Nigeria, especially when I go for events, and a lot of people believe that, oh, I have to travel abroad to do very well. But I keep saying, if you cannot do well in Nigeria, you cannot do well anywhere else in the world.
Yeah, I think that is the same thing I've just mentioned. You understand that most people who you see here that are successful are people who, even if they are back in Nigeria, they will be able to make an impact and be successful. But the opportunity, just like you say, are relative. Okay. So
that's interesting. You see, we live in the UK. We get people depending on us, calling us from back home, saying, send me this, send me that, and all of that. Yeah, of course, there are some people who are just lazy, bluntly put. Now, there are also people who are genuine. How have you navigated that? You know, all these years you've been here, of course, we've been using Afiego, we've been sending money back home. How do you manage, to support those back home who depends on you on top of the pressure you're getting here with the heavily taxed wage, where the government just slices your income without even questioning if you're going to survive the next day. But there are people back home who depends on you. Could you talk about that, Flo?
I think is a very great point that you pulled out from what he said, because I completely see how what you've built as well is out of passion to help and support the other people that are dependent on you. I think for me, broadly, helping people back home is a priority, partly because you want to always give back to where you've come from as well. But navigating that has always been around making sure that people who need that help get the right help, but also sieving through the people who are not genuine.
Who just wants to use you.
Exactly. And that comes with someone coming with a ridiculous need of they want to buy a new Camry because they want to start driving taxis. And the question is, if you want to start driving taxis, why don't you go to the bank and get some loan? Because then you're more likely to pay back that money. Because if it comes from me, then you're not going to take it seriously. Mm-hmm. And if you're building a business, I need to see that you're serious about it. And in most instances...
Can I just say something there? Now, I did a video I talked about this. A lot of times people want you to invest in a dream of theirs that they are not invested in.
Absolutely.
A dream they are not committed in. They want you to commit to that dream. And this is interesting. Now, your dream is something only you can see. Before you go to someone else to say, I want you to invest in my dream, surely you must lay some foundation, make it visible.
Exactly. And in most cases, they will say, oh, well, I don't have the funds. It's not about money. If you have a dream, you need to lay out what is the plan. If you want to drive a taxi, have you gone to do a market survey to understand how much you can make monthly, and how much, if you took a loan, for instance, how much would you pay back? How would you make sure that if you have dry days of not doing taxiing, how do you then pay back? What are the structures you're putting in place to make sure that the business survives?
Let me throw you a curveball here. Is that because they are lazy, or is that because they know they can play the guilt game on us and get that money from us and run away? Because a lot of times, even when you support them, they don't pay back this money. They don't come back, they just take the money, run away, and then a few months down the line, like, oh, I'm broke again. So why do they do this? Is this laziness? Because you've just highlighted that there's so much talent in Nigeria. These guys are gifted, and I work with them. These guys are gifted, they are talented. But a lot of the times, in my own experience and opinion, some of them put in this talent, this gift, into doing the wrong things.
Yeah.
So is this laziness, or is this just a mentality thing?
I think it's a bit of both, but without also being crude and calling it blatant laziness. I think a lot of it is people playing the guilt game, feeling entitled, and feeling that because they have family abroad, they can constantly rely on these people. And also, they don't understand their challenges and pressure that these people abroad go through. So it's a bit of laziness in the sense that you have a dream, you want me to believe in your dream, and you just expect me to help you believe in your dream. And the other part of it being playing the guilt game. If it's a sibling or a family member or someone very close to you, a close friend, they, say things like, oh, you don't want to see me suffering. Well, if you want to see yourself suffering,
who am I to stop you?
Who am I to stop you? Exactly. So you need to take some responsibility. You need to, make those people who are trying to help or who are willing to help step up, because they can see that you have contributed something towards whatever it is you're asking. But when you say that, it looks like you're asking too much. But that's the question is, if I'm investing my money that I've worked extremely hard to get,
made sacrifices for, which I'm about to drop that soon.
Exactly. Why is that too much of an ask to tell you to help me understand the relevance or how this is going to improve your life? And as they say, I don't want to give you a fish. I want to show you how to fish. So if you're not able to demonstrate that whatever I give you is going to not results to you coming back again for more, then unfortunately you haven't really made a great case for me to step out of my comfort zone to then contribute something. So it's a very sensitive topic as well, because you can't have these conversations with these people because they will never see where you're coming from, which is very painful as well. So
let me throw this one to you, Emmanuel, off the back of what Flo have just said. Now, a lot of the times we make sacrifices for the income, for the money we have. Now, we get paid, we get heavily taxed in this society, in this community place. Now, because we are foreigners, we have to start from scratch. Now, those back home expect you to support them. It's an expectation. And there's a sense of entitlement that comes with it in most cases. Now, we almost have experienced or seen situations where people call you and say, I want you to come sponsor my wedding. Classic example. Now, you're getting married. You have a budget, and your budget, your money is not enough for you to get married, and you're calling someone else to sponsor your wedding. How are you going to feed your wife? And the funny thing is, the person you're calling to come and sponsor your marriage is probably not even married, because they are trying to save to get married, or they are sacrificing, and part of that sacrifice is because they are not married. How do you address this, and how do you keep going with these people?
I just. To be honest with you, if I want to be honest with you,
you should be.
I don't find it hard to tell people that I don't have, and that's it. And I don't actually have to explain. You understand? If you want to get married, then you go and get married. And if you ask me to support you, if I have, then I can. If I don't have, I tell you I don't have.
Okay, Flo, I'm gonna put this to you, and I'm gonna give you a real live example.
I want to contribute.
Let me set the stage well. Let me set the stage. So a couple of years ago, I was preparing to get married. I was saving up, and a friend reached out and like, hey, Kay, I want to get married and I need you, I have this budget, this is the amount you need to contribute. He already had a budget and amount. And I went back to him and like, see, my man, I'm preparing to get married and I'm saving up and I don't have enough money. And he came back to me and said, okay, since you don't have enough, could you just give me the little you have to support me to get married and God will provide for you? Flo, please.
You're kidding, right?
I'm not kidding.
I think you must be joking. He must be joking.
That is blatant rubbish. Like how? So you should contribute to their wedding, and God will provide for you. This goes back to what we're talking about.
So the question should be why hasn't God provided
for him?
As a matter of fact, I'm just going to grab my mobile phone and I'm going to read one message for you without mentioning the person's name. Keep flowing, guys, keep going.
That's a really interesting...
Yeah, so because if you are saying that God will provide for knowledge, I think that same God should
provide for you as well.
Away. Yeah, straight away, there is no point of passing the blessing.
Exactly. But you see, it even takes this whole conversation, flips it around to the religious part of how we believe that God does everything.
Yeah.
Now, on the point of how do you not lose your shit, someone telling you that God is going to provide for you and your own wedding, therefore you should contribute to their wedding with what you've saved up for your wedding, is that not entitlement with capital letters? What exactly are we talking about here? That someone comes to you and pretends to care about you. People see you as opportunity to live the dream that they haven't worked for. Now, I've also had a situation where someone very close to me was planning their wedding. They reached out to me and said, oh, the wedding is getting close. It's a couple of weeks down the line and we need to pay for the hall. And it's 280,000 naira. And I was like, excuse me, you're getting married. You haven't made plans to pay for your hall. So what's happened here is you've planned all along that you're going to come to me. I'm sorry to disappoint you. If I don't give you that money, if me not giving that money means that the wedding is not happening, brother, Oga, I do not have the money.
All right, let me set the stage on this.
To be honest, let me just make a comment, personally, I don't know. I don't have the time to start explaining to you. If you call me to request for money, I don't find it difficult to just say no.
All right, let me set the stage on this one. Now, a couple of weeks ago, as you all know, I was in Nigeria doing a live event based in Delta University. That event cost me about £10,000. You know about it, yeah? Now, just before I left the country, I got a message from someone and said, oh, how are you doing? Are you still around? I was like, no, I'm at the airport, I'm leaving tonight. He said, okay, safe journey. And then he came back, next thing was, I need your support, no matter how small. I was like, sure, what do you need? What do you need support on? He said, boss, the place, he said, I'm getting married. The place for the event is in Ondo State. The cost of transportation is now on the very high side. So no matter what you can help with, anything will help. I was like, okay, are you talking about support for something else or support for marriage? Be specific. I said, okay, because things at this time are very high on this side. Marriage this time is all about support. I'm doing this now because of my position in church. Hang on, stay with me. And I went back. I was like, to be blunt with you, you have a responsibility to your wife to take care of her, and not a responsibility to the church. The church is the wife of Christ. And if you cannot afford the marriage, you should not abandon your wife, in poverty and hunger after you marry her, just because you want to look good in church.
Man, you're blunt.
And then the guy came back to me and said, now it's done on me, you are really the Antichrist.
Amazing. Amazing.
Now, what have I done wrong? The Bible says the church is the wife of Christ. So you're going to marry that poor girl. You're going to marry that poor girl because of the position you have in church, borrow money, spend money you don't have, just to say, I'm the pastor or I'm this person, this profile in church. And tomorrow she'll be suffering because you've lured her into a marriage with the wrong, you've given her the wrong impression about things. How do we survive? How do we navigate these people?
Can I just say,
please.
sorry, first, that was a great response. Like, that response deserved to be printed on a t-shirt. Like, no wonder he called you Antichrist. It's like, I thought I was blunt, but man, that was blunt. Well done. You got yourself out of that one really swiftly.
Now, how do you navigate this? Because this is just one of many. And because I do Insight, I get a lot of these random people you don't even know. They send me and like, oh, we need help, we need this. And I'm fine. One of the things we do is we hook these guys up to people who've gone through certain things and who are genuine to help them. You know how much we spend every month helping people in Nigeria. But the challenge I have is, it is okay for you to think you're smart and you want to outsmart me. For Christ's sake, if you want to job me, you want to play me, still spend some time to come up with an intelligent story.
Absolutely.
You know, don't just wake up and come up with one cock and bull story and then pass it on. Come up with something intelligent. Don't come to me and tell me because of your position in church, I should spend my money for you to keep your profile. What has that got to do with anything?
Can I be honest to you? I don't think he is viewing it the way you are viewing it. And one thing I just want to mention is that perspective or the Nigerian perspective society needs to change. You understand? So you are seeing it that way, and that is why you got that reaction from him. You understand? To him, the society or the environment makes him to believe that what he's presenting to you
is normal.
Yeah,
and that's the problem. They've normalized the abnormal.
Not even normal, valid. He sees that concept as being valid. So I think perspective needs to change. The understanding of marriage, even from the Bible and from the Christianity point of view, you understand? You don't necessarily need to spend. You don't even need to spend 1,000 naira.
But this leads us smoothly into the reason why we have high rates of separation and divorce in Nigeria. Because now, take example, you're that poor girl who someone is going to borrow money or beg money to sponsor their wedding. You've set an expectation. She's coming in thinking, my husband or this guy has got money. Because of course now you've shown yourself that you're one of those who live beyond what you can afford. And she comes in and realizes that all of those things you've profiled yourself, it's not real. Now, she's been lured into that wedding, into that marriage, based on the wrong impression and wrong things. She won't stay. And then we wonder why these women are breaking up, why they are divorcing and they are leaving. And the rate of divorce in Nigeria, in that society, the rate of separation, it's insane.
Yeah.
Yeah, to be fair with you, there are lots of things to discuss. That's a very wide topic. There are many things, you understand, that lead to divorce and separation. So even here in the UK, we are seeing high rate of divorce. Yes, part of the things you are mentioned, we just talk about, the high expectation is one, but there are lots of things going on.
I completely agree with that. And on your point of why would anybody expect that, woman to stay? I think the other side of it is the woman is her eyes not open to see that her husband to be is not really what he's positioned himself to be, right? So it's still back to, they both think that this idea is valid.
Yes.
And then I agree with your point that the broken marriage, increasing rates of broken marriage is high because of things like this, and there are lots of other things, leads us to even talk about why are two people who are not financially stable in this very strongly uncertain and wavering economy globally coming together to make themselves look good in the society at the detriment of being financially unstable.
At the detriment of their happiness.
Exactly.
Happiness.
It goes to show that our society, we need to change our perspective. In the West, divorce has always been a big thing.
But a lot of the divorce cases in the West is not a function of finance compared to how it is in Nigeria.
Yeah.
Because what you have is people are betraying their marriages in Nigeria because of money.
Yeah.
And we know that is one of the primary reasons of divorce in Nigeria. But yet so two things. If the wife-to-be is the one pushing him, then that is an indicator that she's the wrong woman. It means that she cannot live based on the little you have. She will push you all the way. Now, if he is the one doing it, then that is an indication that he's the wrong man. Now, your question is the wife-to-be not aware? My uncle said one thing. If love is blind, then marriage is an eye-opener. Because the minute you step into it, your eyes will be open.
Widely, and I agree with your uncle. He's a legend because it doesn't take long. Do you know the point you made about if it's either of them doing it and they're wrong for each other? I think it also goes back to our society at large. It's very deep rooted that it's not about them even being like the one for each other. They would go to another person and do the same thing. And this puts an enormous pressure on men as well, because if it's the man doing it to prove that he's man enough or to prove that he can look after her, well, technically you can't. You're putting yourself under that pressure unnecessarily to show something you're not, because society is expecting you to do this.
Be there.
And the other side is, why is the woman not contributing anything as well to the marriage? I don't even want to get to that topic because the women would murder me or would slaughter me on this topic.
So
I feel like
what are they bringing
people,
to the table?
Well, in some cases, some people bring themselves, and that's a table itself. But the point being that.
What about the chair?
Because that's true. If we have table, we need chairs as well. So at the end of the day, both parties need to equally, if not equally, contribute to the marriage. And if the man or both of them are outsourcing for funds to make the marriage, like the wedding happen, then I'm not even sure that they are going to survive after the marriage, because the woman probably doesn't have anything to contribute.
So let me drill down on this. Let me throw a curveball on this one. Now we're talking about it from a marital point of view, but even before marriage, yeah, because the thing is, they say how we do anything in life is how we do everything, and what we do in life is who we are. Before the marriage, you have a lot of women, yeah, girls, young girls, who can afford certain things. They borrow their friend's bag, they borrow their friend's shoe, already living above that which they can afford, positioning themselves like, this is my profile, which is what we call the fake life. And that fake life you live before marriage You then transfer it or integrate it into marriage, and then the guy realizes that, ooh, of course, if love is blind, marriage is an eye opener. In the marriage, his eyes becomes open. She's fake. Everything is fake. Now he becomes miserable and angry, and he feel like he's been deceived. And that goes for guys. They borrow their friend's house, their shoes. They tell you, I'm the, GM. You think he's general manager or he's gateman of this place. All of this deception. Even when you know that you will be caught, that you cannot keep up that fake life. The question then, do we now have a society that we can no longer trust? The same way they will call you who is abroad and tell you, oh, I am hungry, I've not eaten for 3 days. But how the hell did you get data to message me? Is your priority not? I've been seeing you online every minute. You've been sending me message. Make up your mind what your priority is. Is it food or data?
My classic response to that one is, you don't ask me whether I don't know. Because you come to me and say, you've not eaten for 3 days. Perhaps I hadn't actually had anything for breakfast or lunch or dinner. But you don't care, right? Because it's all about your pocket. But yes, deception is a big deal in our society today. And your question is, why do people carry on even knowing that they'll be caught? That one is beyond me, because I don't even understand the whole concept to begin with. Why would I want to show what I'm not? To what end exactly? Is it short-term benefit, and who benefits from that?
I think we are still back at the base. The perspective of the society needs to change. I think it's very, very important. Who
needs to change and who needs to take responsibility? Because if we keep saying the society, who is the society? It's you, it's me, it's everyone out there who's doing this. And who's taking responsibility?
That's a very interesting question.
I think it's people like us encouraging, friends, family, people around us to, when they do these things, because an example is that, let's say I have a friend who, always wants to show off with somebody else's item. You talk to them and say, okay, what exactly are you trying to achieve by doing this? Perhaps if you show up as yourself, you're probably going to be appreciated more. Why don't you try that and see what happens? So society is us, we are society, and it's our responsibility to make those changes incrementally from our own circle out to the wider community.
So just like what she just said, so we have to help. And how do you help? If somebody calls you for money or to assist, I think what you can do is actually help them to see the right perspective, that way they are taking is not the right path.
Is that not trying to have a rational conversation with someone who's irrational?
No, well...
Because if they could say it in the first place, they wouldn't be calling you.
Oh, no wonder they call you Antichrist.
If they can say it in the first place, they won't be calling you, isn't it? A man convinced against his will is of the same opinion still.
No. Yeah, so the truth of the matter is he might not accept your advice, but who knows?
He go call you Antichrist.
No, but who knows? After a couple of months, he will actually look back and say, actually, this advice that this uncle gave to me or this guy gave to me. Chances
are zero.
I wouldn't bank on that.
Very minimal.
I wouldn't bank on that. Now, I said something to someone. If you think about it, I do take responsibility. And I think I'm one of those who've encouraged this in the act of giving. And if you think about it, if you call 10 people to ask them for money with your ridiculous story, and 9 of them shuts you down and 1 gives to you, who would you call the next time?
That one person.
The one person. So it is those of us who are giving to these people that are supporting them. Because they tried it with A, it worked, they'll think, let me go and try it with B. They'll wait 3 months, they'll come back to A again. And before you know it, you're sacrificing your whole life here. They are sitting complaining, but they are drinking beer with your money. And you can't even afford Coke. You are working 9 to 5, back double job, triple shift, but they are sitting there. There's no job in Nigeria. Go carry block. Who said there's job in Nigeria? The problem is that you don't want to do the job that there is.
Yeah, that's right. Well, I have a funny story to share. So last time I went to Nigeria about a year ago, I went out with a few people close to me, and we ended up in this bar that was really expensive, and they had cocktail menus, and they had like a booklet for the strong stuff, and it was starting from like maybe 80k naira for a bottle, right? I respected myself.
And cut your coat according to your size.
And cut my coat according to my size. And guess what?
So you didn't do Dorime?
I am not a big boy. And I do not chill with the big boys. I chill with my level. I bought cocktail 5,000 naira because thankfully they still had, normal boys and girls drink. And one of the people in the group said, can I have the booklet? My heart shake because now me did expect me to pay. I can't say, how? You saw me that you think that I have the money. I respected myself and I ordered for a cocktail and every other person. And you're asking for a booklet. I was shocked.
You came from the UK.
Hey, God.
The Queen handed her a card.
I just said, are you serious? Like, are you being serious asking for the booklet? And he was like, yeah. I was like, okay. I'll pay for this round of drinks if you're buying the booklet, because the lady was there about to take the order. If you're buying the booklet, if you're collecting the booklet, or you're on your own. And the profound thing is that if I gave that person that 80k, their life would probably be different than them buying the cheapest drink at the bar for 80k because somebody else was paying. And it just blew my mind because I kept thinking about it, on my way back. I was like, this person genuinely just wanted to have that drink because they weren't paying. And in normal circumstances, just go home, go to ShopRite or wherever, just get the drink yourself.
Just get the drink yourself.
And go your house, go drink them. But anyway, it just goes to show how the expectation culture is also a thing that people would, in every instance and circumstance, take advantage of you right under your nose. They don't need to think about creative ideas to even do it.
See, I was telling someone the other day, I don't mind someone job me, but where I get mad is you job me and you don't invest that money for something good. You job me, you use that money to make your life better, the life of your family, your community better, fine. But when you job me, which is the ridiculous thing they do, they go to the nearest beer parlor or club and let it rain. That is the height of ignorance plus stupidity. And that is, they all just want to show off. Where have you arrived? when did you even leave? You've not even left. You are arriving. Won't you leave before you arrive? I don't get it. But we find ourselves. My biggest concern is I generally believe that unfortunately there's a lost generation somewhere. But I believe that we need to do what we can do quickly to save the younger generation.
Absolutely.
Because I promise you, unfortunately, my generation, there's a lost generation somewhere. And we saw it from the days when we were in uni, when people would rather go block and sleep with lecturers than read their books. And then they'll come out and tell you there's no job. How on earth do you expect me to employ you when you can't even write a letter?
I know.
I'm telling you to write a CV to apply for this job, and the CV, the grammatical error is so much, and you're telling me that you want me to wreck my company?
Yeah.
It's real. And then they are so arrogant. You went through school, you didn't read this. In fact, you went through school, the school did not go through you. But you also don't want to go and carry block. Okay, make up your mind. What do you want?
What do you want exactly?
Make up your mind.
To your point of having the lost generation and seeing how we can save the upcoming generation, I think that is even the biggest challenge we might likely be facing. And the reason for that is the internet, social media is projecting this fake lifestyle very heavily.
That's correct.
And I think that even the upcoming generation, they have it bad coming for them because people think that everything on social media is real, and I believe in it. I mean, loads of things that we've seen in the recent past happening, you know, people doing all sorts of things for money, is the most ridiculous thing we've ever experienced. And I think with the trend of influencers and people looking up to people and calling them role models because you've seen them wearing fancy clothes on the internet, they are your role model, couple goals. Come off it. That is not reality. Who is going to actually step in? And I'm sorry to, you know, these people that then turn around and say, oh, we're going to show you the real thing. I think there was a Nigerian couple a while back that came up and they did like a real life table talk with themselves arguing, and it's like, excuse me, you don't put cameras in your dining area arguing, right? We don't want to see that. That's pushing it. But we need to save that generation from getting trapped to believing that social media is a way of life and influencers who live there. And this is not discrediting people that are influencing or selling products, but there is a limit to which people are believing that is a lifestyle, and that is the next trend of like careers that they can.
Absolutely, and to be critical, I know you don't want to put a nail on the head of those who are selling product, but they are selling product at the expense of the younger generation, their future. And they know it for real, but they are more concerned about the money they are going to make rather than humanity that they are destroying. You know, we've come to that place in life where people are more concerned about the few pounds they are going to more naira they're going to make here, which you're going to spend because money comes, money goes. It doesn't stick.
Yeah.
It doesn't stick.
Yeah. A funny story on that as well is that because I used to know someone, well, I still know that person, that is quite influential on social media, and every time, so I didn't even know how big they were on social media, but we were friendly. And one of the times I was like, hey, my friends are going to so place, do you want to join us? And they joined. And I just took, you know, random nice photos of them. And they posted this on social media and tagged me, and it blew up. People were like, living the life. And in my head, I was like, what the actual hell? I was there. We were in a forest. Like, it was just a very quiet afternoon that we had, just cooking in the woods.
Oh, okay.
And it was like, living the life. And
Which
people,
life?
they hail them. And I was like, oh my God. So that was the closest experience I've had to this lifestyle of like people seeing, I took this picture with my phone. But, you know, the sun, everything, the thing can't set. And it was like...
We no longer know what is real and what is unreal.
We don't.
Anymore.
Yeah. We really don't. Yeah. And that's where we need to start making that distinction of people saying, you know, I'm just having fun, and someone just coming to say, that is what I want. And which goes back to our earlier conversation of why people believe that the opportunities are here. And therefore, once you cross the border, you are going to be flooded with all these opportunities because they will see fine picture that you took with really nice sun, you know, shining on your face without Nigerian heat, you know, hammering your head. So,
and it's crazy though, because in reality, in a lot of ways, both those in Nigeria have it better off. Take example, we all have mobile phones. These are all contracts. We've not paid for it. We're paying for it every day. I can go out today, tomorrow, and drive out a brand new Range Rover. I don't have to deposit anything. But the car doesn't belong to me. I'm just driving it. But in Nigeria, you drive it because you can afford it. You own it. We live in houses. Mortgage, 90% is owned by the bank. 80%. In Nigeria, you own the house outright. If you don't have it, you don't have it. But they don't understand that we're living in a credit society. They look at you and say, hey, she's using the latest iPhone 12. Not be my own. My Apple get them. I just the rent them. They don't get it. They don't get it. Oh, he's using a Mercedes Benz. Of course, yeah. You knew when I bought my car. I didn't deposit anything. I just went to Mercedes. They gave me new car. Drove off. You know? Anyone look at him picture like, woo, he's driving Meg. And Mercedes get him. And on purpose, I'm not paying off that car on purpose because I know that if I pay it off, it becomes my problem, which means if the car breaks down, it's my responsibility. But right now, I'm not paying it off, I'm paying monthly. If the car breaks down, it's their problem.
Absolutely.
All I need to do, Mercedes, your car don't break down, I'll carry your car. That's it.
Yeah, yeah.
But in Nigeria, they don't get it. They think, oh, yeah, we saw him in Range Rover, leaving the, not being money.
And I think our people here as well, we contribute to some of this. And so particularly or referring to Nigerians living abroad, we contribute to this. And this, you know how we have the I just got backs? People way land Niger for holiday 2 weeks, IJB.
You save up that money for 1 year just to blow it in 2 weeks.
God
and
bless
then think the 2 weeks is the life you're living every day.
Exactly. Now, the reverse of that is the I just got here. And this is not, of course, we all got here at some point, but there is that urge to take pictures at every corner and sometimes not even in your own car, right? You go to, I've seen this on social media, like massively, you know, there's some people that all they do is they go to like a dealership, they stand, you know, there, take really nice photos and they share it. Now, maybe they just got here 6 months ago. Someone who knows you or who knew you before you got here very closely is thinking, oh, more man, see this person don't make her. That car don't belong, you don't even own, like you're not paying for it. But you're now projecting that.
As though it is your car.
No, I think...
So I don't know which term we'll give them. I just got back and I just got here.
So I think just what you mentioned, that reminds me, when I was here in the UK, I went to, that is, what is it called, Sorbonne? It's a seaside, seaside. So I went there.
You didn't be live or you go beachside, just go chill.
So, and I just wanted to go. That is not even the point. It's even the truth. So if you've been to Sorbonne, you will discover that the water is quite hilly, or the way the environment is. So when you take a picture, it gives you a very nice background of the hill. So I stood to take a picture because I love the background. But unknowingly to me, there is a nice Mercedes.
A guy don't make them.
And in my mind, I was just interested just to get the background. And I uploaded that on Facebook. So it was the comment I was getting from people. I just say, wow.
This was not the plan.
This was not the plan. So, so yeah, I think it's still the way Nigeria see things. I was putting it because I love the background. I wasn't even keen about the car. I didn't even notice the car, but actually what
other people noticed.
Noticed. Yeah.
It's a bit like what we were talking about earlier, that you do a video and then someone notices that curtain that is not quite,
that's not even in the message.
yeah. So
it's interesting though. It's interesting.
And I was actually, when I was putting it up, my intention of putting it just, oh wow, can you see this background, this view from this end on how the sea and the town is? And that was just what is in my mind, because I find that very fascinating. Because if you've been to Sorbonne, you discover that it's kind of like hilly, and the way the government built the environment, it has like a winding road. So when you snap, it will just be as if you are falling. So that was what actually I wanted to project on Facebook.
So I haven't touched on a number of things. We've talked about the problems of society and, you know, the fake life, the deception and everything, and the generation lost, generation to be saved. I know this is quite a long one. What is your one message to the youth out there to bring them back home from all we've talked about? Emmanuel.
Interesting. This is a very big question. I think to me, I would just tell the youth to believe in themselves. I think that is just one of the message they just need to believe in themselves rather than to buy into what. I think why I said believe in themselves, some people have come to the point whereby they just believe that they can't make it or they can't even move, that they have to actually. So me, I'm talking about. So when you say that, so we've discussed so many things. You understand? Some people have gone to the point of hopelessness. They don't longer believe in themselves. They just believe that what they see in the social media, that okay, that this is how life is to them.
Okay. So I'm going to throw the same question to Flo, but before then, let me take this opportunity to tell you guys this. In case you don't know me, I am the son of a farmer. I was carrying block to pay my way through university. I was using shovel to work in Bauchi to raise money that I used to come and study masters. It was all hard work. But the truth is, like we said at the beginning, your success is not a function of your environment. It's a function of what you have up here. So if you're one who's determined and you've cultivated yourself to succeed, yeah, you would succeed. It doesn't matter where you are, whether you are in Nigeria, you're in the UK. As a matter of fact, I'm not successful because I'm in the UK. I'm in the UK because I am successful. Let me repeat that. I am not successful because I am in the UK. I am in the UK because I am successful. I was successful in Nigeria before I came here. So that you're losing faith and hope in yourself because you're in Nigeria is a big mistake. In Nigeria, like I told you guys in Bentidasa University, the richest man in Africa lives in Africa. So nothing stops you.
No, I think what you just said is quite profound. You understand? Because even when I came to the UK, you understand, I was actually speaking to, there's a lady I met. She came to do masters, and we were talking about similar thing, and I did mention that if you can't make it in Nigeria, even if you come to abroad, you understand, you will struggle. Although yes,
you will survive, but you will not blow.
Yeah. So although we do know that there are opportunities here, but if you are able to make it in Nigeria, then even if you come to the UK or elsewhere in the world, you can still make it. So I think that's, I'm just trying to
drive the point home.
No, to throw light to what you've just said. So what you just said is quite, it's quite very important for your audience.
So Flo, what will be your one message for the audience?
I actually have 3 messages.
Oh, fire away. That's why she's very.
So the first message is no time is too late, and to your point, keep hope alive. No matter how dark or how rough you think things are that you can't pick yourself up, as long as you're genuine, keep driving those opportunities that you have, maximize whatever you have around you to keep moving. And the second message is, when you've chosen a path, stay consistent. Consistency is the most important ingredient. Show up every day. No matter whether you feel like you want to wake up and get out of bed, whether you feel like you're tired or exhausted, keep showing up. And one day, it will all come together. And the third message is specifically for women. Don't limit yourself. Don't settle because you think somebody else's responsibility is to look after you. You must apply yourself. You must step out of your comfort zone. God created man and woman with a brain. We have head. We have different parts of the body. But one of the common things we have is the ability to think and apply ourselves. And you must be able to do that in order to have that life that you desire. No one else would give you that life to make you feel completely fulfilled. And this is probably relative, other people might disagree, but I feel like there is joy and merit in your hard work and things that you've actually done out of the usefulness of your own brain and your capacity to think. So those are my 3 key messages.
So I like that one. God gave all of us brain. Use your brain, because what you do not use, you would lose. And it's just natural. If you're not a great thinker, if you find that you're not being productive in, coming up with great ideas, it's probably because you've not been using that part of your brain. And no time is too late. Now is a good time to start. Now is the best time to start. Now, my one message to you guys, I'm not going to be motivating you today. All I'm just going to be giving you is one advice. Cut your coat according to your material. Don't be planning other people into budgets that you don't know how they are surviving, how they are doing. Nobody was put in this world to take care of you. After all, yourself, it's about time you take care of someone. If you cannot give out of the little you have, it's not when you have millions you'll be able to give. Cut your coat according to your material. Man, until we meet again. Manuel, Flo, it's nice to have you guys here.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Cheers, guys. Cheers, guys. Have a lovely day.